your number one news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. COVID-19 is having a major impact on the country's job market, and thousands of Bahamians are joining the unemployment line. The nation's leader has projected the unemployment rate to be just over 30%, and as it stands now, close to 30,000 persons have received social assistance from the National Insurance Board amid this pandemic. Now tonight, trade union members are speaking out about the state of unemployment in the country. Rumiko Knowles has more.
A divine intervention is needed to counteract the economic fallout of COVID-19. This, according to President of the National Congress of Trade Unions, Bernard Evans, who says our two strongest economic pillars are tourism and banking. He says when the green light is given and we are in the clear, the Bahamas is still depending on those sectors.
If in fact, if the all go is given, say August 1st, for instance, that don't mean that the hotels, the Atlantises and the Bahamas would then be filled to capacity on August 1st. It's going to be a phased approach. I don't think we would get back to by December maybe. This is already the slow month of the year when tourists are a little bit slow in the country. And so jobs will be impacted. The digital world have also exposed a way of doing business now that some employees may not see the need to bring back people. They have this curbside stuff, just online ordering and all that stuff. All these will have a domino effect where people can see that, well, employees can see that they can save money.
Area Vice President of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, Quinton LaRota, says the COVID-19 poses challenges when it comes to education. He notes that when schools closed, students were forced to learn from home, and there are students who do not have access to internet, and they are being left behind.
I think that's something that the government has to target to try to get the numbers in. Those students who have the potential, the capacity to log on and reach out to those that don't, and try to provide some assistance there. These things are not perfect. We're all trying to learn how to get on, how to log on, how to manage the system. There's some teachers who are doing little refresher courses in Zoom and these other things, trying to improve their abilities.
President of the Bahamas Hotel Managerial Association, Kirk Russell, talks about the concerns coming from the Trade Union Congress. He says they are concerned about the issues impacting workers nationally.
We are very concerned about insurance. Let me give you that. For instance, the TUC, it is the TUC opinion and belief that insurance ought to be a right and not a benefit to a few privileged workers. We believe that all workers in the country ought to be entitled to insurance. So that is one of the reset button we believe the country need to look at.
Rumiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
The COVID-19 pandemic has forced many learning institutions across the world to transition into virtual learning platforms, and the Bahamas is no different. Tonight, Jamila Mizik finds out how a local private institution on Grand Bahama is coping with this new reality.
Deputy Administrator at Tabernacle Baptist Christian Academy, Nora Spain, says once it was announced by the government that schools would be closed throughout the Bahamas, the following day their administration held an emergency meeting where they immediately decided to utilize the virtual learning platform.
Because our system is such that on intake, students, parents, all the emails are collected, which is a major component of the Zoom classes and getting children signed up into the global system that we operate at school. We were able to send out the information to our kids, our young people, on how to get online, the students on how to get online and log into their classes and be actively involved in the virtual classroom.
He says the vast majority of students from all grade levels are actively involved and they're able to interact with them on a daily basis.
All of the students are involved in terms of the availability of it. And to us, it's going really, really good. The only concern is that you wish that you had 100% participation with it. But because of physicality and affordability of some of the devices for students. They have not. Some students don't have it, and thank God some of them have still been able to find from their friends what they were doing and get on board and reach out to teachers from that perspective. But for the most part, it's going extremely well.
Now, Bain admits that for some students, being absent from the physical classrooms will have some impact, but he says their students are resilient, so they will be able to adapt.
You want that contact time in the classroom, that physical contact, but this is a new era of education now. When I say new, it's new in the sense that we're doing it now, but virtual learning, I think, is going to be here to stay. I think it's going to be here for a while. As long as this pandemic lasts, we're going to adapt and make sure that our kids are doing what they need to do.
He says in terms of examinations, they've been busily looking at ways to ensure the integrity of virtual testing. Jamila Mizik, SATNS Network News.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Don't go away.